I'm definitely a little late to the party, a little tardy to the party when it comes to the Call of Duty Modern Warfare news, but I still wanted to cover this because as somebody who got burned by Modern Warfare 2 a couple years back, I've been a little afraid to touch Call of Duty since then. I didn't play 7, Black Ops 7. Wasn't too captivated by 6. Didn't touch Modern Warfare 3, and it's all because, I bought Modern Warfare 2 for 70 freaking dollars, really hyped to be able to play this Call of Duty game for like 2 years. Man, it was gonna be the great thing, blah blah blah. And then only to be told 8 months into the life of the game, hey, just kidding, we're actually gonna take everything that we were gonna give you for Modern Warfare 2 and turn it into Modern Warfare 3. Like, I wanted to be like Bugs Bunny and just rip my freaking ears out. Like I was so frustrated by that. And so like I've been really staying away from Call of Duty because of it. But new Modern Warfare 4 actually looks very enticing, very, very, you interesting. I I don't have anything really beyond that as far as to say that it actually does look good. So I wanted to look at this article by GameSpot, kind of covering everything that's gonna be in the next Modern Warfare and what they're promising. And as we move closer to that time, I may potentially be getting that. It does actually seem like something that I might be interested in, but I did just want to go ahead and kind of look at this one with you guys. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So this article, like I said, is by GameSpot. It's titled Infinity War makes key improvements to the formula with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. We went hands-on with Modern Warfare 4 to see how Infinity Ward is tuning up movement and gunplay in this year's Call of Duty offering. And that's what I want to know. What are we doing different that's different from Modern Warfare 3, from Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 6 and 7? What is it? So after back-to-back Black Ops games, both from developers Treyarch and Raven Studios, Infinity Ward returns to the helm for this year's entry in the Call of Duty franchise with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. Infinity Ward says it's entering a new chapter, both for the series that helped catapult Call of Duty into its status as a household name and for the studio at large. For Modern Warfare 4, that new chapter helps redefine where the series is headed in 2019. Infinity Ward rebooted the Modern Warfare series, which first kicked off in 2007. Dang, it's really been that long? Man. Oh, that makes me actually feel like really old. Holy cow. I remember playing that, dude. 2007? Jeez. The reboot and its sequels worked somewhat within the framework of the original 3 Modern Warfare games. In terms of its campaign and story, Modern Warfare 4 is the first title in the modern series to step off into the wholly new territory. Infinity Ward recently provided journalists a first look at Modern Warfare 4 during a preview event in Los Angeles, which gave us an idea of where the studio is taking Modern Warfare's story and how it'll continue the tale of Captain Price and Task Force 141. We also learned that the game will include a new version of the DMZ extraction mode. Oh, DMZ coming back. Or maybe it was back in Modern Warfare 3. I don't know. I didn't play Modern Warfare 3, like I said. But yeah, I thought DMZ was cool. And got the lowdown on what Infinity Ward is bringing to Modern Warfare 4's multiplayer offerings and went hands-on with a few new titles and new modes. So we're going to be boots on the ground. After 3 games in which players took the role of high-leveled operators, Modern Warfare is heading back to Call of Duty's earlier roots with a campaign that focused on the experience of more common soldiers. This next Call of Duty centers on a conflict taking place between North and South Korea, which looked poised to create ripples that could destabilize the entire world. As the conflict kicks off with North Korea suddenly attacking South Korea, you'll play as members of a mixed squad made up of South Korean and U.S. Marines. South Korea has a particularity that every single person that has to serve in the military when they're young, and so for us, that's an interesting perspective. It's been a long time since we presented the grunt perspective since 2007 or 2009. We've made games that are more about spec ops operators with a CIA handler in their ear, telling them there's a guy around the corner. It's fascinating for us to go back to the perspective of the young guys, 18 to 25. They had no idea what's going on. They're receiving an incomplete picture from their orders, and they're just trying to survive to the next moment. We wanted to show a group of soldiers that have personality. For one, they're not buttoned up and polished as you would just see in a very super scripted, movie or TV show. We wanted to show that raw feeling and conversations between all of them where you can feel it's not just their roles in the military, but their actual personal behaviors and personalities. As with the other recent Modern Warfare games, Modern Warfare 4 is going for a ripped from the headlines feel in its story. O'Hara explained that that doesn't mean Infinity Ward is replicating real conflicts in video games form. Instead, it's trying to tell a story that feels realistic and genuine by drawing from and extrapolating on the real world. But since they didn't have access to experts and real information about North Korea's actual rulers, O'Hara said Infinity Ward invented a fictional family to run the country. The plot kicks off as a new member of the family takes on the role of the dictator. The grunt story of the Marines fighting in Korea is only half of Modern Warfare 4's campaign, though. The game also continues the story of Captain Price now in the run after the events of Modern Warfare 3, so I'll have to get caught up on that for sure. From the sounds of things, you can expect the campaign to jump back and forth between the globetrotting story of Price as he pursues his nemesis, Makarov, and the events in Korea until the two plot lines eventually intertwine. We had this idea of setting it in Korea and this war in Korea and showing the grunt's perspective in there, but we also want to always bring our characters, Task Force 141, into it. But it was also a case of we followed the journey in this reboot of the last 3 games of Task Force 141, and we wanted to make sure that it felt like an evolution in some ways, a conclusion for them. So it's important to have a state change there with them. It definitely has been, a labor to work through all of those details and make sure that the two storylines intertwine in the right way. So that's actually something that I do find interesting, that they're kind of going with this more grounded, more, character focused story. I believe I don't remember which Call of Duty it was that I had played through the campaign. I think it was Black Ops 6. Um, but like that campaign, aside from like the really cool ending with the black dude and stuff, and like that motorcycle scene, I think that was Black Ops 6. That motorcycle scene through the mall was like really cool. But I just felt like the story was like so crazy, so bombastic, and like I couldn't get gripped with it because kind of like they had said, it's you're playing as the operative with the guy in his ear and stuff, and it never felt like I was, living those moments where I was like how Black Ops 1 and 2 made me feel like I was actually going through the Mason story and stuff, and like it helped it was like a riveting kind of piece of like the story where I didn't feel like the CIA operative that has the person in their ear telling me every single thing. Like I had to figure things out and I had to live the experience playing through that story. So it's nice to hear that they're kind of going back to the roots with that. That does actually really, really interest me, and it makes me very, very captivated by what the story could be. So that's something that I will definitely be looking forward to. All right, so then in terms of the new multiplayer modes, we didn't get a chance to play Modern Warfare 4's campaign. Infinity Ward didn't provide us with a few hours to check out some of its additions to the multiplayer before hopping into a match. We tried the new Gunsmith's Gunny feature, a recommendation engine that automatically adds attachments to your weapons. Clicking the Gunny quickly generates a loadout for your gun based on the intended use case, close range, long range, or balance between the two. Gunny only uses the attachments you have available and will present a new loadout option every time you click it, allowing you to quickly try out different combinations. Oh, that's really cool, actually. So, I mean, if you haven't played Call of Duty in a while, there's like all the different like gun and attachments you can equip, and it's like a very intricate system. And sometimes it can be a little overwhelming because there's so many different like sliders and little nuances that you might not even recognize with a gun. So, a lot doing this might actually generate you something that is a little more useful that you don't maybe necessarily find in your first try with a gun. Like maybe you're like, oh well, this magazine adds like extra weight to the gun, so it takes down my mobility, but then this draw gives me like more increased mobility, so they kind of even each other out while still getting that second flip on your magazine, so you don't have to take as much time reloading or something like that. So that actually does sound really interesting. So they also introduced a new set of weapons called Apex attachments, and these additions are unique to each weapon and are unlocked when you fully level up a gun, and they greatly change how each one works. The ones I tried, including adding a underbarrel shotgun attachment to a pistol, making it a devastatingly powerful sidearm, and one that altered an assault rifle to its submachine to fire submachine gun rounds, making it fast and powerful at close range. And then over a handful of matches, we checked out some of Modern Warfare 4's maps and new modes like the chaotic inflammation and unpredictable 10 on 10 gun game. Okay, 10 on 10. I like that. I like me some big scale battles. So maybe we could try to get those numbers up a little more. Infinity Ward also outlines some other modes as well, including big new war modes that offer big team battles complete with vehicles. That's what I like to hear. Inflation feels a bit like the dog tag hunt and kill confirm mode, but with a fascinating twist. Players in each mode start with $10,000 on them whenever they respawn. When a player is killed, they drop their money and the opposing team can pick it up. Once a team amasses a certain total of money, they win. Where things get interesting in the inflation part, where the mode gets its name, as you gather money from opponents, your own value grows. When you're killed by an opposing player, you'll drop all the money you've gathered before responding with just 10,000. The player with the most money on the other team is marked as the VIP, and the other players can see their location through walls, so you'll want to try to protect your team's VIPs while working to take down the enemy's VIP and steal their cash, but pick up enough money, and you'll become a VIP yourself. Inflation mixes several different elements together to go for a dynamic fight experience. Grabbing money off fallen enemies pushes you to get into closer combat, but can leave you exposed if you're not careful. And while taking out as many players as possible can help your team win, going on a kill streak pushes you to play defense to either protect yourself or your valuable teammates. It is possible for players with big piles of cash to create equally large swings. In a few of the matches I played, a win came down to one or two big VIPs killed right at the end. That kind of reminds me of a mix of like kill confirmed, but it also reminds me of the finals for some reason. Because if you haven't played the finals, it's a destruction based shooter. It's like team based, and there's like three teams, and you're all battling for these like cash boxes, right? And so like your team gets the cash box, and I think it's like worth like 5 or 10,000 or whatever. And so like you have to battle for the cash box, and then when you're carrying the cash box, you get marked, and it tells like people where the cash box is, and you have to take it to like a set location so that way you can deposit it. And then once it's deposited, it goes into your team's bank. That kind of is not exactly one to one, but it does remind me of that in a certain sense with the money and like the being the VIP and having that kind of target on your back. And I find that reminds me a lot of the finals. I find that very interesting. So the next thing that I do want to cover is the fast and fluid movement that they're talking about, because I like Call of Duty's movement sometimes, and then sometimes I find it really frustrating. So I'm curious to see what is going to be the big change in terms of the movement. So beyond the addition of maps and modes, the biggest change to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 is how Infinity Ward has approached player movement, with heavier emphasis placed on making movements as fast as fluid as possible. O'Hara and Grisby said that they felt with Modern Warfare 2, the team had made choices that restricted players, like slowing them down, and as they went through doors, they said they approached Modern Warfare 4 with the philosophy that players should never hit a button expecting something to happen only to have nothing happen. I actually do kind of agree that Modern Warfare 4 or 2 felt like it really halted the player a lot. That was one of the things that I didn't like about it. So I definitely see where they're coming from that. Um, to that end, Infinity Ward has greatly improved the ways that animations can change into one another, and is most notable when doing things like sprinting, sliding, and mantling, making your way over a wall now feel a lot less more like jumping a hurdle than a slower, clunkier mantle of Modern Warfare 2. It's also now possible to chain a mantle to a sprint as well, which equates to doing things like sliding over a car hood in Dukes of Hazzard style. That's badass. Um, the combination of movement abilities offers a lot of new opportunities for getting around maps. The parkour capabilities reminded me of something closer to Mirror's Edge, especially when used as a full blast by someone very familiar with them. You can now do things like climb up pipes, grab ledges, and either shimmy along them or pop up over them with a pistol to take shots at enemies and slide into a prone position on your back so that you can turn and fire behind you. Infinity Ward has even built a movement course that will be part of Modern Warfare 4 at launch, allowing you to test your skills against other players. In practice, the movement adjustments aren't quite the same as the dynamic omni movement system of the recent Black Ops games, but they do combat that feel fast and smooth in Modern Warfare 4. It doesn't necessarily mean that every player you encounter is going to be ridiculous action hero moves like they are in the John Woo movie, but it does provide you with a lot more options in engaging with the map, like the ability to quickly clamber up to a second story window and join a fight happening inside a wall, or to escape by hurling quickly over cars and walls. The other day we were in the playtest, and I was the last person alive in my squad, and I slid and I like turned into the ladder and slid down all in one fluid motion, and it just felt heroic and awesome. O'Hara said. In my brain, I was like, that's what I want to do. And then the game did it, and that felt great. So that's kind of our philosophy, to try and get what's in people's brains through their fingers and out into the game. Yeah, that actually sounds really, really promising, because like I said, Modern Warfare 2 did feel really sluggish at times, where it felt like, because I had to do this certain animation, I got punished because of my movement got slowed, or like something didn't feel as good as it should have. So I like the route that they're going with this, because that actually makes me feel like having this cool idea in my head of what I want to do will actually make it feel like it's more viable, and like it's going to be kind of more fast paced, but like you said, more superhero-y feel. And I think that that's going to be really fun and really interesting. So like, I definitely going to want to check out some more gameplay once we get closer to time and stuff. That sounds very interesting. All right. And then I think the last section here we have is called Improving the Bones of Call of Duty. It's not just the movement that's gotten an overhaul in Modern Warfare 4. Infinity Ward has also reworked and enhanced some of the shooter fundamentals that underpin the series. A huge one is Bloom, the effect that shooters use to stimulate the loss of accuracy when guns are fired from the hip, as opposed to when you ADS, aim down the sights. Hip firing a gun without taking careful aim has the effect of spraying bullets in a general direction. Shooters create that spray effect by designating a cone of space and sending bullets to random places within the cone effect called Bloom. Using Bloom does a fair job of simulating the idea that the gun is spraying bullets all over the place in a general area in front of you, but it can also create frustrating situations where you can fire your gun straight at someone and have the bullets whiz past and around them, while also making it so that bullets head out at the strange angles in relation to your gun's barrel. With bullets going where you expect them to go and landing where your gun is pointed, the change makes firing from the hip feel more effective and realistic, especially at close ranges. Infinity Ward also demonstrated ways that it has adjusted Modern Warfare 4's approach to the field of view. With wider FOV settings, players can get more situational awareness because they can see more of the size of their screens. But this creates an effect that makes targets in front of the enemy smaller and them seem farther away than they really are. Tighter FOV settings fix the targeting issues but close off peripheral vision. In Modern Warfare 4, Infinity Ward is splitting the difference, widening the FOV at the sides of the screen, but without making targets in the center of the screen smaller. Developers have also reframed weapons on the screen so that they're not quite so tight to the player, making them look more realistic. In practice, all of those adjustments feel great, even if many of the smaller visual changes aren't something you'd notice much in the heat of battle. The bloom adjustments are definitely noticeable, however, and making firing from the hip in an emergency seem much more viable. In practice, that improves the immediacy of Modern Warfare 4. In multiplayer battles, I played hip firing made moves like jumping through the window or rounding a corner to get a drop on someone feel more viable as strategies than they might have in the past. That little bit of time saved by not aiming down sights can be used to your advantage much more often, thanks to bullets reliably winding up where you hope they will. Infinity Ward showed off a lot of Modern Warfare 4, and even with only a small taste of how it plays, the game's new modes and gameplay enhancements seem promising. Nothing we saw fundamentally alters what fans have come to expect from a Call of Duty or Modern Warfare game, but Infinity Ward brought a lot of improvements to the formula that add up to some pretty meaningful changes that made for some fun and exciting battles. And then the last thing I want to talk, I'm not going to read the whole article. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory just by the title, but Call of Duty team promises Modern Warfare 4 won't have clowny crossover skins. That was something in the most recent few iterations of Call of Duty that I just found to be very, very, very annoying. Like, why can I play as Peter Griffin? Why can I play as Beavis and Butthead? Like, why can I play as all these random characters? Like, even somebody that loves WWE as much as I do, why can I run down the battlefield as Rey Mysterio or like Rhea Ripley? Like, why? That doesn't make any sense to me. It's Call of Duty. It's meant to be war. Why do we have all these stupid skins that don't fit in the game? That was something that I also thought was really stupid. But just in general, everything that I'm actually hearing about Modern Warfare 4 seems really, really interesting and makes me kind of maybe want to jump back into Call of Duty. It seems like they're taking steps in the right direction to get players like me, who they burned, 3-4 years ago, whatever, maybe actually kind of get me a little bit more interested in it again. So I really just wanted to kind of cover this and kind of go over it and give you my thoughts and opinions on it. Like I said, it's I'm a little late, but I still found that this was a very interesting, read, because like I said, there's a lot of cool stuff that's possibly coming to Modern Warfare 4, and that's good things that make me very excited for the future of Call of Duty. So I would love to know what you guys think. I'd love to know what your opinions are and your reactions. And if you're excited for Modern Warfare 4, if you're not excited for Modern Warfare 4, I would love to know what you guys had to think. So go ahead and feel free to leave some comments, leave a like on the video, and go ahead and follow if you haven't done so. And if you want even more Texas Toast, you can come over and follow me on Twitch at Texas_Toast0, where we play games, we watch WWE, and we just have a grand old time. So I hope to see you guys there. Until we meet again, deuces.
Ooh, this a hot shit, babe. You said that I've been hanging on to you. I don't play games cause I'm scared to lose. Baby, I tried to quit you. Now I feel like the smoke that you blew. Yeah, got my heart